What?
Apparently, Ty kicked Gabe in the face.
Nice.
Like a roundhouse kick, or like was the form good?
Don't know. I mean,
So the babysitter kicked the baby in the face?
yep.
I like
Wow.
it. All right then. Oh, good old Lawton water.
Yeah, well,
Actually, it doesn't taste bad, so I don't know why people bitch about it all the time. But water's water, bro. Especially the people like our generation and the generation like above mine, or above ours, because I guess it would be you guys. So above y'all's generation, because I assume you're
I would say
probably.
because I'm a generation above you.
Yeah, so I assume you're probably
Right.
46, 47, maybe older.
Oh, you're sweet. I'm 51.
Yeah, well, see.
Yeah.
You did that on purpose.
But I'm 48.
Yeah, so like I don't understand how people bitch about water. It's like we grew up drinking out of a fucking hose. Like, why do you have to have bottled water?
And if there wasn't a hose, straight from the spigot.
Yeah.
I mean, you just cup the dirty hands and...
I remember as a child when the concept of bottled water first came out. As a kid, thinking it was ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
did too.
mean, I look back on it. It's like, I mean, being a little boy, you know, you just go along with whatever society. You're still learning about stuff like that, and I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it. We got perfect water coming out of the tap,
Yep.
and
Our bottled water was an empty Gatorade bottle that we refilled with water.
Right.
And threw in the refrigerator to take it with us, or so it was cold.
Or an old Coke bottle, something like that, yeah.
I'm not an environmentalist, but I do. When I go to work, I have the same 3 plastic Aquafina bottles that I fill up every evening and put in the freezer to take with me the next day.
I do that with Gatorade bottles. I have them filled up about 3/4 of the way. I freeze some of them, and I keep some of them not frozen. I put them all in the cooler, and bam, I'm good. And I rinse them out every night, refreeze them.
Yeah, my wife, on the other hand, she does not like tap water. She wanted to get a in-home filtration system directly hooked up, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We will get you a Brita filter. Yeah.
I used to sell those, and surprisingly enough, for older people or people with like skin sensitivity stuff, they're great.
Yeah,
I understand that, and you know, scale and save your appliances and stuff. The buildup is real; it's there, but not worried about my kidneys or anything.
Right. I don't know. Well, I guess we don't have any whiskey to start our show off with.
Oh, tinky tank with the bottle.
Yeah, we'll do it with my water right now. I haven't quite opened a beer yet.
Yeah, tink with what you got.
So, tinky.
Tink.
There we go. Gotta make some kind of noise. We're having shirts made that say tinky tink.
Yep, hopefully soon. So, well, we've got us a guest tonight. If you want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself. And
my name is William Stoneman. I'm 51 years old. I am a truck driver. And I'm a lifelong fanatic of animals, especially reptiles and amphibians, in particular the snakes.
Okay.
They are I've always thought of them to be the coolest, most fascinating animal on the planet. And,
right. So that newspaper article was
because I researched it and I looked up the KSWO article that you did that you took part in.
Yeah, I was on the TV.
Look, Mom, on the TV.
He's famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, JP didn't tell us a whole lot about you, so when he threw that up on our little group chat, he was like, "Is this him?" I was like, "I would assume so." And then JP was like, "I don't think so," because it just said William.
William. That's my legal first name.
That's your government name.
Yeah, my middle name is David.
Yeah,
I used to go by David, but in certain situations I use my first name.
Legality and stuff.
Legality, I do that too. I mean,
most people around here don't even know my first name, my real first name.
And then there's some people that think your real first name is fake.
Yeah. Yeah, because like everybody around here knows me as Drax. Like most people don't know that my actual first name is Jeremy. And when I tell them that, they're like, "No, it's not." Like, No, it hasn't been. It hasn't been Jeremy for 36 years. I make that one up.
Jeremy doesn't have that kind of punch.
Yeah. That's what I guess. I just don't look like a Jeremy. So
because I look in the mirror every morning and decided I was going to make up a name, and I thought I looked like a Jeremy, so that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's funny. And even my mom and my grandma, whenever I first got the name Drax, they were like, my grandma, she was very, I'd say very religious. She was a religious person, but not like a nut. But she was like, you should go by your real name. You know what your real name means, right? And I was like, yeah, you've told me a million times what my real name means. She's like, well, it means God's chosen. I was like, well, he didn't choose me to believe in him, so it's okay, right? So I guess it's probably better that I go by a different name.
Right.
Hand me one of those while you're in there, please. Appreciate it. Until JP gets back, you'll have to be the beer assistant for the time being. So whoever's sitting there, always end up being, which granted it's usually JP, but yeah,
There you go.
there's a tinky tink noise.
Now I figure we're going to have to put that on the other sleeve of the shirt. It's going to be Gap,
Right.
producer, beer assistant.
Right. Have everybody's little title. But, so what got you into reptiles and amphibians and snakes?
Man, I've always, my love of animals it's just innate. So I think I was born with it. Always, going to visit my grandfather in North Carolina. He's got all this land with woods and forests. He'd always take me out, pointing out frogs and rabbits, and I think that was kind of the fuel. And when we're kids, adults are always warning us, telling us that snakes are bad and that they could kill you,
Right.
and to stay away, and to some degree for good reason. I get it, but I took it upon myself to test that theory on my own.
Ain't been killed yet, you see.
Yeah. And so I living in Georgia. We've got like 100-foot pine trees in the yard all over the place.
Yeah.
Very shaded, humid area. I'd go with my dog, go
Georgia?
to the...
No.
Yeah. But me and my dog just go look for these things. Looking back, it's quite serene and beautiful. A Norman Rockwell picture, a little boy and his dog going into the woods
Right.
by themselves, and I would find these snakes, and I was wary, at the time, not knowing anything about them, but I would, pick them up with a stick and watch them move, and
See if you could figure out if it bit you, if you were going to die.
well, no, not yet.
That was later on in life.
Yeah, but I would, in school, I'd go to the library and check out books on snakes. That was my...
That was your go-to.
Yeah, that was my go-to. Yeah, that was my... I'm not going to learn about anything that's not going to interest me. That's
Right.
And this is... The drive was there, learning everything about them, and come to find out, it's they're not the monsters that everybody makes them out to be.
Yeah.
They're fascinating beyond belief.
Right.
They're the most complex organism on the planet with no limbs, and they don't need them.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
They don't need limbs.
But it's and it just from there on out. I mean, I continued just to learn about them, and the finding snakes is just a rush. Finding them in the wild, it's a complete rush, and it's the exact same feeling to this day as it was back then as a little boy.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
at least it hasn't waned over the years.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you go to different parts of the country and find brand new specimens that you've never seen before in real life, and it's
Right.
It's just beautiful.
When I was in Pensacola helping my mom and doing family stuff, I was in Pensacola for 6 months doing that. one of the neighbors came and got me, took me out in the street, and he's like, okay, well, I don't know what to do about this. And I'm like, about what? And I look over, and it looked like there was a little piece of rope, like somebody dropped off a trailer over in the middle of the street. And I start walking towards it, and he's like, no, wait. I'm like, what? He said, it's a snake. And I said, okay, it's a snake. Do you know what kind of snake? He said, no, that's why I came and got you. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, look, Tom, his name is Tom.
You look like a redneck from Oklahoma. Tell me what kind
Well,
of
that's,
snake
I was like, look, Tom, why did you come get me? He says, well, because you're from the West. And I said, what do you mean I'm from the West? He says, well, you are from Oklahoma, and they have rattlesnakes. I went, there are rattlesnakes in Florida, too.
There's bigger rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Bigger rattlesnakes. And he says, well, but I don't know what kind of rattlesnake this one is or how old it is. I said, well, the rattles. He said, okay.
Like trees.
He said, okay. I said, okay, that one's got 4. So that makes it 5. It's about a 5-year-old. I said, that's a small one for a 5-year-old rattler. And he says, well, what kind of rattler? I said, I don't know. It's not a Western Diamondback. I mean, there's so many different species of rattlers.
Yeah, right.
Of just snakes in general, but even of rattlers. I said, it's not a Western Diamondback. That's what we have in Oklahoma. I mean, you know,
right.
it's probably a timber rattler or something along those lines. And he said, well, how do you tell the difference? I said, the markings are different. The way the scales are and the coloration of it is different.
It is that simple. It's just a.
He was just dumbfounded at the fact that I'm from the West, and I didn't know exactly what kind of rattler it was. Like, yeah, that's damn sure a rattlesnake. So he goes down. It had been run over. So he goes down and starts to pick it up by the rattles. It's like, no. This much I do know.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Why? I said, well, it could even have a muscle jerk and curl back on you. And even if it's dead, there's still venom in the mouth and in the fangs. You can still get toasted. He said, well, what should I do? He said, go get a shovel, cut its head off, and then you can deal with it. He says, but it's already squished. I said, that head could still be alive.
Yeah, yep. They can, nerve impulses still fire, you know. I don't know exactly how long, but I mean,
I don't either.
A couple hours. You know, you hear wives' tales of like for a full week they can still bite you.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't.
But I mean, if you took a dead one and ripped that lower jaw off and then just smacked somebody in the face with those fangs, you could still get an injection of the venom.
Yeah. And I think it's starting to decompose and it's be a little uglier. You know?
You get splatted with the venom and then stuck by the fangs.
Yeah.
But I just found it amusing. Like I said, you know, it's like, you're from the West. What? So?
It pans up to you, a picture in a cowboy hat and spurs. And
he does have spurs on.
Yeah. I got spurs, and I don't remember if I had my cowboy hat on at that point or not. I think it had already come home. But, I mean, and my buckle says Oklahoma. This one is actually a Oklahoma Heritage Museum buckle. I've got several Oklahoma buckles, and I wear cowboy boots most of the time. I've got a pair on right now. I've got several different pairs of spurs I wear on a very regular basis that just live on boots. So, you know, it wasn't a big deal. I was armed the whole time I was in Pensacola. They looked at me as the cowboy from Oklahoma, because some of those guys were at the Naval Air Training Station. So, you know, they're kids. I mean, young adults, mid-20s, going through schooling, just starting their naval aviation training. And like their units would have these houses and rent these houses for like 4 of them. And they were all for this one particular unit, they were all in this neighborhood that my mom lived in. So you'd see these guys running, and then you'd see them walking down the street and they're talking about work or talking about their schooling or, you know, whatnot. And that's what this guy was. He was in at the training station for his aviation courses, which is like, I don't know, he said 18 months or something. Yeah. It's a long time. And, which is why they get them houses instead of trying to build them. And we had talked over some of the garage sales that we were holding and whatnot. He thought he could just come get me, and I'd be all knowing about it. Yeah, that slipped down. So anyway,
you got a particularly favorite encounter with reptiles, or an exciting one?
Boogity.
Nothing. Okay. Out in the wild, nothing really exciting. You just find them and that's it. But having captives escape in my home, and
I had that
and
happen
then
once.
finding them. I've got a couple of doozies. As a kid, I was maybe 15 years old. My parents finally let me, have a snake or two in my room, in a secure cage.
Right.
I had out on Fort Sill, out near the lakes, come across a freshly born litter of water snakes. There was like 12 of them, just born. And I scooped them up, brought them home. They're interesting. You go to the bait shop and get minnows and toss some minnows, and they just tear them up. And I had left there's a little door on top of the cage that you open up to put food in, and I left that open. And the next morning, every one of these little snakes is gone. And I didn't tell my parents. I didn't mention it at all. I'm gonna get in
I
trouble.
wouldn't have told him either. I'd have started hunting.
But a few weeks later, my dad's getting up in the middle of the night, and he sees this pile on the carpet. Like it's dark and it's like illuminated from the kitchen light or
Right.
whatever, and he
Like
sees
a
a
pile of dog shit
silhouette.
or something.
Yeah, he thinks that's like, I guess it's just a pile of dog poop.
Right.
So he grabs a paper towel and goes to pick it up, and it moves. So that was the other one he found. We found them. They eventually turned up one by one, over the years, and the last one wasn't found. I think it was a good 2-3 years later. I found it wrapped around the toilet in the bathroom. It had grown to about 3.5 feet long.
Jeez.
So whatever, it was surviving. It got water somehow, and
Did you guys have were there just no mice or any other random stuff that was
No,
just
no,
That's what I was gonna
there's
say.
something.
Have
There's
to worry about vermin.
yeah, it was a clean house. Yeah, it was no roaches even. It's
Yeah.
but it survived on
surprising
something.
around
I mean, yeah.
It's a hell of a diet.
No.
Yeah.
And one time I had a king snake, a speckled king snake. You find them around here on Fort Sill, and it had escaped, and my brother found it crawling underneath the door where my grandmother was sleeping, and we avoided probably avoided a heart attack from her that night. But
I had one of those get into my house. Well, nobody knew it was there, and it was in my bathroom. And my old rug in my bathroom was one of those kind of like that knockoff shag stuff that was absorbent. So when you get out of the shower, it's
yeah.
not-
Oh yeah.
Well, it was a baby. Well, I didn't know it, and I was in there. I was going to the bathroom. I was just sitting there looking, and I was like, "The fuck is on my rug?" So I just pulled the rug over to me, and was like, "Oh, hi, how you doing, little buddy?"
Little snake.
So I just kind of set it back down there where he was just chilling. I was like, "Well, you're gonna have to let me finish, and I'll get you outside." But I am currently preoccupied. I can't just stop. And I walked outside, and I walked out of the bathroom, and my daughter, she used to love snakes. Now she's terrified of them. Like, I don't know why. She hasn't been bit by one. She hasn't been nothing. There's no trauma.
Yeah.
I think she just watched too many movies. But I took it out there, and I thought, I didn't know it, that she had developed a fear of snakes. I was like, "Here, honey, you like snakes?" And she was like, "Nope." And she just out the front door and up the tree in my front yard. She's like, "You take that out back." My son, on the other hand, he loves everything. He thinks rattlesnakes are cute. I took him to the rattlesnake festival, and he just kept wanting to touch them. I was like, "No, you can't touch that one."
How old is he?
5.
Okay, yeah, that's all right.
So my mom she's got some health problems, so she lives at my house, and she had just caught a tarantula. She just put a clear cup over it.
Yeah.
She's terrified of spiders. She hates them. And I used to have one, and it got out. And that one, I found out about that, because I was here. I was here visiting, because this when I was a teenager, I was here visiting my grandma and grandpa, and it was there, and it apparently got out of its cage. But yeah, she caught a tarantula, just crawled around in the kitchen, and my son was like, I got home from work, and my son was just sitting there, just staring in the cup. He was wasn't doing nothing with it, not trying to take the cup off. He was just watching it, just hang out. Well, I picked it up and we took it outside. I was like, we're going to let him go. He can still stay in the yard. He'll stay around as long as he's getting food and stuff. He'll stay around. And I just had him in my hand. And someone's like, can I hold him? I was like, I don't care. Here, he's not going to bite you. It's just a rose tarantula. Like, they ain't going to do nothing. I let him go. I've never seen anybody have a meltdown over a spider like he did, because he wanted to keep it so bad. Now he's got a lizard that he caught at the park somehow or another. I don't know how he caught it, but he did. Yeah. So now he's got one in a little terrarium in his room. Yeah,
kids are lower to the ground. It's easy for them to.
Right, they don't have to be very quick.
Yeah, but my favorite snake story. Moved out, living on my own. I've got this 6-foot western rat snake. Probably the second largest non-venomous snake in the area. Mm-hmm. He's about 6.5 feet, an adult. It gets loose, and I'm looking for it. I can't find it. It's got this 6-foot snake in my house somewhere. I have to use the bathroom, so I go use the bathroom. I'm standing there, going in the toilet, and I hear a buzzing sound. Like they will vibrate their tail like a rattlesnake.
Oh, okay.
But against something, it will bzzz,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm hearing it.
The rattles.
Yeah, I'm hearing it as I'm doing my business. I'm hearing it. I'm looking all around me. It's not. I know what it is. I can't see where it's coming from. And then all of a sudden, I look up at eye level, and there on the towel rack, right above the toilet, is this 6-foot western rat snake, this far from my face.
Right.
Poised, ready to strike. And I was like, oh, well, there you are.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah, buddy, yeah.
It's still a change of shorts moment, regardless of whether it's what kind of snake it is or not. It's still startling.
Yeah. But that's a testament to their restraint. They don't want to bite you.
Right.
Yeah, he was. If I would have reached up and touched him, he would have lit me up. But,
motherfucker!
I mean, the two snakes I can think of that actually want to bite things, cobras and black mamas. Other than that, I mean, all snakes give some kind of warning. Even moccasins give some kind of warning before they actually go to make that hit or that strike. Yeah. All snakes do. They give some kind of warning somehow.
Yeah, but no snake wants anything from us like that. Even the mambas, but mambas will
they're just
aggressively let you know to leave them alone.
Right.
That's the best way I can put it.
And I've heard that some snakes will hit with their nose first before actually opening their mouth for a strike. They'll like punch you. And if you don't leave it alone, then they'll open their mouth and bite you.
The species I'm currently working with is the bull snake.
Okay.
Largest non-venomous snake in the area.
Right.
They put on the most impressive threat display. Just a loud hiss and the rattling of the tail, and it's 90% bluff. Mm-hmm. They'll hit you with their head. They'll strike, but they're not aiming to bite you. They're not.
Right.
They'll hit you with their nose or their head, but if all else fails, they'll bite you.
Yeah.
And the hognose snakes are the same way. They will. A lot of bluff.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I had thought that was just like an old wives' tale.
No, that's...
don't let the snake punch you. Is what?
No, that's not every snake. That's not. Some
Gotcha.
snakes will, like racers. Garter snakes. Rat snakes. They will. Yeah. No nonsense. They will bite you.
They will bite you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck you. I'm not venomous, but it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna know what.
It don't. I mean, the teeth of snakes. They're so tiny. Even the largest, the teeth are just so tiny.
Yeah.
And they have no jaw strength whatsoever. I mean, it's really nothing to fear. First perspective, we've all played with a kitten, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with those little claws,
little teeny tiny claws.
They don't feel bad, great, but it's we put up with it to a point for the sake of the animal, just to play.
Yeah.
That's about 10 times worse than your average snake bite.
Yeah. I've also heard that scorpion stings can be worse. That the stinger on a scorpion can be worse than some snake bites. Just in pain.
Are you
pain
on
level.
pain-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, about just non-venomous snakes?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's an actual sting.
Yeah.
We're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, now their stingers, they're not small. Like that barb,
Yeah,
no,
barb's pretty big.
You know, compared to the size
Even
of the
on
rest
little.
of the little critter, like that's a good thing going in.
Yeah.
And the speed of that tail is pretty impressive too. For
Yep. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't fuck around with scorpions, and I don't
I
fuck around
don't,
no,
no,
spiders.
I'm-
Nope.
yeah, he's terrified of spiders.
I hate spiders.
I'm not a fan of spiders. I'm not, I'll be realistic. I'm not terrified of them. I won't hold a tarantula. I mean, I understand people do, and I understand they're not going to buy me. I understand.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
just,
don't do it either.
It's a creepy factor, and it's not the tarantulas that give me. It is the tiny, nimbly-legged ones that surprise me. I'm a shower curtain that make me scream like a little girl.
Right,
I don't. Yeah, it's.
You're doing an ice capades dance to get out of the shower. Rip the curtain down.
Yeah.
Go hauling into the living room all wrapped up in the curtain and a towel.
Yeah, I don't like being surprised like that.
Right. I mean, shit, that's anything, though. I mean, fuck, we had this conversation the other day. His dog scared the shit out of me. We were here and it was storming. I got up to go pee. Well, he failed to mention that her safe space is in the bathtub.
Our Doberman safe space is in the bathtub during storms.
You know, it was 12:30 at night. He'd already, cut out and gone to bed. And I walk in there, don't see her. She blends in with the color of the darkness. I'm just sitting there taking a leak, and I just start hearing. Like, I don't know what it is. I look, and I was like, God damn it, Suki, you son of a bitch!
Was it her tail?
Her tail was hitting the tub. Yeah, her tail was hitting the tub.
Yeah, she was just excited somebody was in there. I was like, you son of a bitch.
So she goes to the tub when she's scared?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
She has PTSD. We had some stuff happen, and the animal control welfare had to come in. Animal welfare control had to come in and take the dogs out of the premises. And that whole incident with her and the animal control. Now the officers knew her as just a friend, and she knew them, but they were required to use the wire thing, the wire choke. What do they call those? The cinch rods.
Choker collar? Choke collar?
No.
Yeah, the
catch pole.
The catch rod pole that they got with the
Oh, God, yeah.
And
vicious dogs.
Yeah.
And so they were required to use those because they were on shift and in duty and whatnot. And she flipped out and injured herself and was already flipped out from the stuff that was going on earlier.
Yeah.
And she just got some pretty serious PTSD for a dog. And her safe space, anytime she gets scared or a little anxious or anything like that, her safe space has become laying in the bathtub. So we actually keep a couple of towels and a blankets that she can lay on, so it's not as hard on her body. But that's where she goes.
I wish my dogs would do that and not lay on me when they get scared. I got a Great Dane and a Saint Bernard, so when they get freaked out, they like to lay on me. It's like I got 300 plus pounds worth of dog.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost the equivalent of me laying on me. It's like, get the fuck off me. I got a king size fucking bed. Just lay next to me. It's fine. I'll pet you guys.
You can even still touch me. Just don't lay on me.
It's not only that, but it's hot. Especially, Juno with her, being a Saint Bernard, all that fucking hair, she lays down like right over my legs, and then I can't go anywhere. And it's like,
right.
Now I've got the blanket and a 185-pound fucking dog on me. It's covered in long ass hair. Like I'm gonna die of a heat stroke in my air conditioned fucking room because you guys won't get off of me. Just go away.
So yeah, there's times where she'll be in bed and a storm comes in, and she, instead of bothering us and being all anxious and scared, she'll just get out of bed because she sleeps on the bed. She'll just get out of bed and come in here and lay in the tub in the bathroom. We can't find her around the house or in the yard. We realize we have to go look in the tub.
Where's she at?
She's just laying in the tub. That's her safe space. We tried kennels. We've tried just in a closed environment. We tried doing like a table with a blanket thrown over it. She didn't like any of those, but she likes that tub.
Whatever she wants.
Yep, whatever she wants, So now we've gotten to where we have to keep the bathroom door open all the time.
That's sweet. We had a Doberman. That was back in the day, high school. His name was Zach. My dad didn't want it, but when we got it, he fell in love with it.
That's how, after
But,
becoming
yeah.
a dad, it's always like that. Dads don't ever
Yeah.
want the fucking pet, and they're best friends.
Yeah, but he passed away after 7 years old in mid-fetch. Just heart stopped.
All right.
Yeah, he went for the ball and just collapsed, and yeah, we don't know what happened.
Let's see. Suki is 5. Yeah, 5 now.
Yeah, that happened to, what the hell was that dog's name? It's my mom's dog, the one that was over at Pope's house after Pope passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't Chaos. Chaos was my dog.
Yeah, Chaos is your dog.
I don't know, the other one. Me and him never...
Not Beans.
No, Binks got killed by one of the other dogs. Granted, Binks was an
Okay.
asshole, so he probably started that fight, and he's the size of that dog's paw.
Yeah, and he lost it.
So, but, you know, because Binks was a little bitty Shih Tzu. So, you know, he was a shoulder dog.
Yeah.
And then he thought because he was the only dog for a long time, once the other ones and the puppies were born, he could boss them around as they were puppies and little and his size. When they got older, and they kind of kept listening to him because he had asserted that dominance. And then one day something happened, and that dog was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm bigger than you. And but I was going over there taking care of the dogs, just middle of eating the one, and I feel bad because I can't remember his fucking name, but he just seized out in the middle of eating.
Ugh.
Like I was trying to keep him from, you know, blowing in his nose,
Yeah,
trying to get him to
doing
breathe
what you
again.
can,
But
yeah.
he just seized out and died on my lap. I was like, well, ain't that about a bitch? You know, I called a friend of mine who's a vet. I was like, I don't know what to do. This is what's going on. Like, he's freaking out. I'm holding him, and I've got her on the speakerphone on the ground, and I'm trying to... She's like, if he's not breathing, you know, you can try to blow into his nose like you've been doing. That's really going to be all you're going to do. Like, he's either going to come out of it or he's not. Like, sadly, that's how it works with seizures in dogs. Like, they're going to come out of it or they won't.
Yep.
I've seen videos of it actually working. Not giving up, just chest compressions
Yep.
and blowing into the mouth and the muzzle, and sometimes it works.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. They had gone through a lot between all the moves and the guy that was supposed to be helping us with shit that stole a bunch, you know, pretty much everything from us, and where there's no telling how he treated him whenever he was alone with them and everything else. So I think he just got excited to see somebody that was actually friendly to him, and
Oh man.
then, you know, he was excited and eating and everything, just kind of
I'm going to step out real quick.
okay.
We'll be right back.
Act in.
No, go ahead on.
But, damn, I had a question I was going to ask you, and I forgot what it was. Squirrel brained. The newspaper article that you did, I read just the article. Where was how long ago was that?
Was it like 3 weeks ago?
Was it that?
Yeah, I didn't even know. I forgot all about the newspaper. I didn't even know it was in the newspapers. It was a KSWO interview. Yeah, I had to meet up for that. Had to give them a time and place, you know, when I was available. Wasn't easy.
Yeah, being a truck driver, I bet.
Yeah.
Just so I can pull it up. Because there was something in that I was going to ask you about. And it's... Come on, I know there's a... Yay. It's like I've never used a computer before.
Yeah, they did a good job editing that. It's I was my stutter started to come through a little bit here and there. They did a good job.
Yeah, this one right here.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it. That was it was a well-written article. Like,
Yeah, there's my snake. It's one of my bull snakes there.
oh,
I used.
that's one of your personal snakes?
Yeah, that is Joe Bruce.
Joe Bruce.
That's Joe Bruce. He's about 6.5 feet long and the biggest, tamest puppy dog snake I've ever had. He's
I like his colors.
oh yeah. I'll show you. Yeah, that's not even. The colors aren't even coming through on that. He's,
Oh, no?
Yeah, he's beautiful. But yeah, I've had him since he was the size of a pencil, and he's never hissed at me, never rattled his tail, never struck at me, nothing.
He's far bigger than a pencil there,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
Did you have pictures of your other ones on your Facebook? You
Yeah.
have a Facebook?
Yeah, I have a Facebook.
Go that one. See, I bet we can. I'm sure I'll have questions about looking at some of them. I like snakes. I like reptiles. I mean, just animals in general. So.
Yeah, I don't really have too many on my Facebook. There are some pictures.
You got any? While this is loading and stuff, you got any advice for people that are afraid of snakes and don't know how to deal with them?
Well,
other than just stay away from them.
There's two types of people. There are people who don't like them and just don't give a fuck. Don't really want to.
Right.
Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. They don't care. They just the good old saying, the only good snake's a dead snake. My response, they need to come up with another one-liner that's just, but, and then there are people, who are willing to take time to let me do a small presentation with the animal that I find on their property.
Right.
And I'm not really changing people's minds, but I give them a little cushion, for the next time they come across one.
Yeah.
The people who are willing to learn, especially children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids think they're neat.
Yeah.
I thought they were neat when I was a kid. All little boys like creepy crawlies. And, and the snake is the ultimate creepy crawly.
Right. What's your name on Facebook?
Dave Stoneman. You'll have to add me. It's set to private.
Okay.
Yep, that's me.
We've got a lot of mutual friends.
All right. Hey, Stephanie Sills.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've known her for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. I sent you one.
All right. Comment.
Yeah, you don't have, like I said, you don't have to have that turned off. We all have lives outside of this nonsense.
Well,
so.
yeah, just interruptions. My wife's ringtone is a little jarring.
Yeah, I heard that whenever you first walked in. I was like, "The fuck is?" Oh, that's a cell phone. What is it like the?
It's Godzilla.
Is it? Yeah, it's.
Yeah, she. I told her, like, I love you, baby. I'll always answer your call. If I'm there, I will answer it, and I will. Yeah, make sure I got a loud enough ringtone.
Right.
People think it's funny though when I answer the phone. Say, hey, baby.
Come on, you know you want to load.
Yeah. This is kind of neat seeing my stuff on a big screen here.
Oh, there's this video. We want to do some photos.
Yeah, it's all random. There's a few there. Yeah, the three-toed box turtle was chewed up by a dog. I took it in. It was in bad shape. Had to clean that up. Put some ointment on it.
We had I don't remember if he was a box turtle or not. We had one growing up that my grandpa had because he had a koi pond, and he had one. His turtle named JJ had the red stripe down the side of its head and its neck. Only got to be about that big. But he'd hang out in the pond. Like, he got him when he was little bitty from one of the places. I think he got it from the bait shop here whenever they had some of the the live stuff that you could buy. And it just lived in the pond, and when we'd clean the pond, we'd set him out, and he'd roam around the yard, and then he'd hop in the pool, and he'd just swim with us in the pool. It's like
red-eared slider.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I was always curious to know. Like, I wasn't sure the first time he hopped in, and granted I was young, but I was like, is he okay in the pool? It's got chlorine and shit in it. But for 15 years, never bothered him once. Yeah, I was like, I guess that's.
I guarantee it did have an effect, however slight.
Yeah.
But
we couldn't keep him out of it though either. Yeah. He was like you were saying with that bull snake. He was like just a little puppy. Like if me and my cousin, even though me and him don't talk anymore, but we'd be out there. If he was out, he'd just follow us around. Like, he'd hang out by our feet. If we'd get in the pool, we couldn't keep him out of the pool. The only way to keep him out of the pool is put him in the pond because he had his little corner where he could come up out of the water and hang out on on dry land. But if we were cleaning the pond and we jumped in, and he just kind of chases around the pool. So
This turtle here, these dogs were taking turns, chewing it up. My brother brought him to me, got to him just in time. The top shell and the bottom, the carapace and the plastron, on the right side here, there was less than maybe 3/8 of an inch of bone material holding the top to the bottom. So, I mean, he wouldn't eat for me. I cleaned up his wounds, applied, bacitracin,
Oh, bacitracin.
Yeah, and I took him out to a place. I'm gonna say that. No details, but and released him, and wished him luck. I mean, there wasn't much more I could do for him.
Yeah, because I assume it's kind of like people, like once that bone's gone, it's just kind of gone. Or
it's like especially like on the one side, what's holding the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Once that's gone, it's gonna be like it's not gonna.
Bet that's JP.
Yeah, I bet he's back.
So now I understand why those guys were so interested in those thermoses, because they're linemen, like PSO linemen. That my two old thermoses I used to use at Goodyear. They were so interested in those thermoses because they're linemen, and those good thermoses are expensive.
Right.
I didn't have much on them at all.
Come on, man. Load computer.
Uh-oh.
Where's that?
That is a paper bag.
That's a paper bag. That's a brown paper bag.
I like paper bags.
Well, we know it's not a Playboy.
It does have booze.
It does have booze in it. Check that shit out.
A little bit of booze is a little bit of booze.
Oh wow.
I specifically wanted JMO, and my options were I can either get that size bottle, or I could take out a second mortgage on my house for another bottle.
Right. Jameson's
Yeah.
getting expensive again. It fluctuates, but right now it's getting expensive.
I mean, is
again.
that all liquor or? I mean, I haven't been to the liquor store and it's been forever. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
It all
All the
seems to
prices
be
are jumping.
pretty well steadily going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We're just going to start making our own.
Hey, give me the still. 55 Stills. Got them on my Facebook page. They make some really good stills. I got a buddy here in town that's got one of their stills. He's got their 2.5 gallon still. His yield is about 3/4 of a gallon. That's a handle.
Right? Who's this fella? Is that the same snake from the other side?
Yeah, it's the same snake. It's Joe Bruce. The color's in. It's a mutation.
Yeah.
Stillwater. It's called Stillwater hypo melanistic. It's most hypomelanistics are a reduction in black pigment. This one is a redistribution of black pigment.
I think it's cool. I like colors of that.
I like the colors of that one, yeah.
And from what I hear, I mean, it's either Stillwater, Oklahoma, or Stillwater, Missouri. I mean, back in the day, the first one was found in the wild as a baby,
Right.
and luckily, the person who found it recognized that it was something special
Yeah.
and different, and took it home, raised it, proved the genetics, over the next 8+ years.
Right.
And and now they're in the pet trade, and it's, in my opinion, one of the prettiest pet snakes ever.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
And-
just like,
and
oh,
they-
look at it on the screen. I don't want to fucking touch it.
And,
No, I don't have a problem with snakes. I mean,
Yeah,
they get giant. They get
use the crystal
pretty
ones.
big.
I had a wife that was a herpetologist,
Oh, nice.
and we had snakes,
Yeah.
and we had she had some other kinds of lizards and reptiles, but I've dealt with escaped snakes. We had a tropical rainbow escape
Boa?
one time, boa,
Yeah.
and then we had a Burmese python escape. It was heavy enough, but we didn't realize it. We knew we were going to need to change the tank soon, but we didn't think it needed to be like this week.
Yeah.
And it got up and got itself coiled up, like humpy up on one part of the glass, and it was the long part, and it just pushed that whole tank over. Just blew the tank up, and it escaped.
They're
And
powerful. Yeah.
and it got up into the ceiling, and we had a fake ceiling, and it got to a point, got enough of its body on the one panel, and it fell through the ceiling in the middle of the living room.
And we can We talk about large constrictors in the pet
want
trade. Sure, yeah, I'll take one. The large constrictors, such as Burmese pythons and reticulated pythons, are very, very popular in the pet trade.
Yeah.
They come in a rainbow of colors and genetic mutations. They're very beautiful, but of course they
don't stop growing.
They get giant.
Yeah, they don't stop growing, and that's what most people don't realize.
The amount that are being produced and sold does not match the amount of people who are, I guess, how do you say it, able to care for them properly.
Correct.
I mean, I've seen pictures of collections of giant, 15-foot snakes in, giant pull-out sterilite tubs and in the little boxes, and somehow they're reproducing. I've seen, this poor female snake in the corner of this tiny cage shooting out eggs off in the corner, and they don't have room to stretch out or nothing.
And still putting out clutches of like 12.
Yeah.
I mean, not small clutches. You'd think they would put a smaller clutch out, throw a smaller clutch because it's a smaller environment, but they don't. They'll still put out a full clutch.
Well, I can have an official Tinky Tink.
Tink.
Tink, tink.
Over here, yeah.
Gotta get everybody.
Yeah. Woo.
Here we go.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming.
But the story I was leading to on that is her thing wasn't. It was the snakes and the other reptiles, right?
Yeah.
She had some of the tropical rainbow frogs, the poison dart frogs.
Oh yeah.
She had 3 different sets of the 3 different colors. And she had a set of the translucent ones that had the red and the blue on the sides of their sides right here and on the top of their head, and the rest of the body was translucent.
Oh, very nice.
That's one of the most dangerous fucking animals on the planet. Well, she went to clean the cage, put her gloves on. She inspected the gloves prior, right? So she didn't find any holes in them. No rips, no tears, no stress marks. Puts the gloves on, and they're the elbow length ones. And clean the cage. All right, cool. I've seen her do it 100 times when we were married, so I'm kind of used to it now. And after handling the frogs, put them back. Within about an hour, she was getting sick. And then within an hour and a half, she was to the point she couldn't hardly walk. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So we took her to the ER.
Death by tree frog.
And we didn't know what had happened. And the ER was asking her, well, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done in the last 2 hours? Really, all I've done is I've had dinner. So they were going all through what we ate. And I said, I ate the same things as she did. And they were checking for allergic reactions and whatnot. And through that, they found the poison from the frogs in her system.
Really?
So I had to haul ass home across town, get the frogs and the gloves, and they had to put the gloves under a microscope and found a hole in the index finger of one of those gloves that she couldn't see just visually, but there was enough of a hole that once it got inside the glove and then expanded through sweat and then the open pores in her finger, it absorbed into her body that way, and it was making her sick. So they took the frogs, and I never saw the frogs again because I guess they did anti-venom or whatever the hell they needed to do and helped her out and made her feel better. And I said, okay, we're getting home. Frogs gone. All the rest of those fucking frogs are gone. And she says, no, you're right. So she took them to the lab, which is not, not a horrible place, not a horrible thing to do. But I said, no more frogs. No more. I mean, you want a bullfrog, or go out in the backyard and catch you one, but no more of those poison tree frogs because they're tiny. They're one of the most poisonous things on the planet, and just that little bit made her sick within an hour and a half that I had to take her to the hospital. Now imagine if she'd gotten, and they don't just shoot one dart, if she'd gotten a set of those darts like in her neck or on her face.
Well, the genus, I'm not sure what genus that was, but the phyllobotes and dendrobotes, the tiny little beautiful poison dart frogs.
Yeah.
They get their toxic properties from their diet in the wild.
Oh, yeah?
So when they are captive bred in captivity and they're fed fruit flies and like termites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
they're completely safe to handle. Now that
These were not.
yeah, I would say that I'm not sure the species, but like there are other species of frogs that are toxic to handle that are not poisoned dart frogs.
Correct. There
There's
are.
like the buffos, the marine toads. That I've had to get on to some people online about licking them.
Yeah, the
You
licking
know,
frogs.
No, they're telling people to lick them to get a high. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
the species will kill you if you lick this toad. You're gonna die.
Right, you will die. Like,
there's
there's no
nothing that's
maybe.
going to prevent that from dying if you lick this frog. But
Exactly.
But yeah, like a lot of amphibians, I'm sure that there are species that the toxicity of their secretions are not even known
Yes.
yet. So yeah, I am curious to know what species that she was dealing with.
I don't know. I can actually. My mom is with my brother at my brother's son's birthday this weekend, but I can probably ask her Monday and just get back through PJ and let you know. But
All right.
she had the 3 different sets, and those were not the smallest of JP.
Yeah.
Those were not the smallest of the ones that she had.
Okay.
They're, like I said, they were the
Oh, you got this again on
red,
stills.
blue, and yellow ones. They were
Yeah.
really pretty, nice
Yeah,
big eyes. The
they're-
eyes changed color. They were really
Really?
pretty frogs,
Oh,
but
wow.
they were initially started as research frogs, captured.
Yeah, they may, but yeah, they were wild
So-
caught. So okay, gotcha.
And all of her frogs were that way. Some of the lizards were all wild caught. Most of our snakes were either lab clutched or zoo clutched.
Okay.
So
So-
if you catch, like, say, like the poison dart frogs, if you catch one in the wild that's already developed that toxicity from its in the wild diet, does that go away over
Yes.
time as it's like
It
it'll
can, yes.
eventually?
That will go away.
Okay.
And then this is relatively new information.
Oh yeah,
I'm thinking within the last 10 years.
yeah. See,
this
I've
was-
never
this was
heard that.
found out.
I didn't. That's something I didn't know at
Yeah.
all.
I mean, in the wild, they're one of the most, if not the most toxic poisons
No.
on the planet. But once that you start feeding them a captive diet of fruit flies and termites, and they're not getting the
Roaches,
toxins
Right.
from their diet in the wild. Yeah, you're not supposed to hold them anyways.
Right.
The oils on our skin is not good for them.
Yeah.
They're a good display animal. But
Yeah,
they're so
they're not-
tiny, man.
they're not pettable.
Yeah. I'd like to have like just an an enclosure with like 10,000 of them. Just
Yeah, just
these
have a
little bitty-
terrarium
Yeah,
full of
yeah. But I steer clear from them. Just anything that requires fruit flies as a diet. It's I know people who like breed roaches. And I'm like, no, I'm good on that, man.
I'm okay with
you
that.
You get one of those escaping. It could be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough of those in Lawton as it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hell, that's what we play. It's like I feel like I'm playing like Pong with roaches with the apartment complex behind me because we always have we pretty regularly have our pest control people come out.
Yeah.
My house is lived in, but it's clean. There's not just trash everywhere. There's not dishes always piled up.
All right.
Nothing that they should be there for. We'll get rid of them. We won't see one for a month. And then they'll do the spraying and stuff at the apartment complex.
Scares
and
them
then
off.
It's, whoop, and
Yeah.
it's back.
Yep.
It's like, no, motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's what happens here in my house is it goes back and forth. Most of these houses are all rentals.
Yeah.
And I wish they would just have them set up to where they would all of the different companies would come to our section all at the
Just
same
do it
time.
all at one time.
All at one time, or within a day. Because we'll get rid of them for a while, and then we'll see a truck out there, and then within a week, boop, they're back in our house.
Yeah.
God, man, come on.
I moved into an apartment. Landlord, great guy, and it kind of had a roach problem. It didn't manifest right away, but I started seeing them one at a time after like a month. Like this isn't good. But then I moved from that property to he owns a bar locally, and upstairs had 4 apartments, and I moved into one of those apartments. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool, and
Right.
but I brought hitchhikers with me,
Oh, yeah.
and within a year, it was an infestation.
Yeah.
It was bad. But,
Yeah, that's what the house that I moved into, it had been abandoned for like 3-4 years. Like it had been kept up. Like it it didn't have like a bunch of trash and shit in it, but it was just vacant for like 3-4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, vacant house with right there's somewhere to go, it's at least a good hide spot. Go ahead. I'd have one while you're in there.
Okay, all right. I'm just,
I think he was asking.
comparing.
Oh.
Well, I was asking, but I was like, these are going down pretty.
Oh no,
Pretty
no,
smooth.
that's what
Thank
they're
you.
for, man.
Thank
That's
you.
why we always try to make sure we at least get a case of beer for
Right.
a show. So feel free.
I'm not
And
much
they-
a drinker anymore, but yeah, it's.
And when we got multiples of us drinking on it, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, no, like I said, feel free. That's what they're for. We buy them specifically for the shows. That's what we. I mean, it's part of the premise. We just like to sit around like we were sitting at a bar. So, who's this fella? He looks pissed off.
Oh no, man, those are the.
That's a cool coloration.
Yeah.
I like the pattern. of the-
Oh,
but
you
it's-
can see the pattern.
Yeah.
You can still see the pattern. Yeah, that is a hypomelanistic Everglades rat snake.
Oh wow.
I bred those for a few years, several years ago, and just came across them, a pair for sale at an expo down in Arlington, and I had to snag them up, but yeah, I got a few clutches out of them and sold them off to a friend of mine down in Waco.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool color.
they're cool, man. They're just that.
That is a cool coloration and
Yeah,
pattern.
it is.
I like
It
this,
is
the
brand
scale
new
pattern.
on a fresh paint job, fresh skin.
Yeah.
Right after a shed,
Yeah.
it is almost fluorescent.
Yeah, it's just the look on his face. It's like he just looks. I guess
Yeah.
like me when I'm sitting at a
They-
bar by myself, I just look mad. Yeah.
Well, that's them.
Yeah.
They're expressionless, but they always have a little smile.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
It's a devious smile though. You can kind of you can see with that in his fucking eyes. He's like, you know what? I could burn this place down.
The thought process I've got is, the picture's outside, so it's either somewhere along the lines of, motherfucker, you brought me out here into this shit?
Right? I've never been out here. I don't like this. Take me back to my cage. I'm going back to my trailer. Fuck you guys.
It's not in my contract.
Right.
Going back to my trailer.
Can't work under these conditions.
I think we should put that on a shirt eventually too. This is not in my contract. Going back to my trailer, and have it be like one of those broken down redneck deer blind type trailers.
Oh,
Who's
that's
that
my-
little turtle?
Oh, that's my granddaughter and her
No, we meant the animal.
tortoise. Yeah, that's it's a little leopard tortoise. That's her first time
this
interacting with it. She always loved it. She wanted
Whatever we
to.
needed.
Okay.
She wanted to pet it, for a couple years.
Put it toward my shirts or more later or whatever we need.
And I finally, she was old enough to interact with it. She held it for the first time, and yeah,
I like that look.
I
She
call
had
it
the look
that moment in time right there, frozen.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
the look on her face.
Yeah.
It's that joy and amusement,
Pure
but it's
joy,
also
yeah.
amazement and wonderment,
Yeah.
all in one expression.
Yeah.
And it's a really good expression. I like the expression on her face.
Yeah.
Well, JP, it's glad you're back. Did
Yeah.
you figure out the karate match? Did we figure out?
Wait,
Yeah.
How we got
wait,
kicked?
wait. Boot to the head.
So
to the
it was all way oversold.
Well, of course.
Ty was laying on the couch, picked his leg up, and Gabe ran face first into it.
Oh,
So he didn't actually kick him in.
What?
No, I'm like,
so Gabe headbutted Ty's foot
man.
at full speed.
yeah.
Nice.
Luckily,
That's all on Gabe then.
He did not
That's
break
all on
Ty's
Gabe
ankle.
Yeah.
I mean,
Our
he's-
Gabes are a lot alike, so if they've got a hard head like each other, then yeah, I'm surprised.
Oh my God, that's so funny. He says that because the last time I was over, Gabe comes on ass from the back part of the house over onto their big ass freaking sectional, jumps over the back, his hands down and does that, that leap over the fence type jump, and then hits the ground and runs and hits me dead square, just as hard as he could, wanting to hug. Well, he face planted my belt buckle. Just bap, and I heard it go, bink, and I look down and he goes, ow! And he stops. He's like, why'd you do that? I was like, I didn't do anything, Bubba.
Trust me, everything is your fault.
yeah.
Like we were playing the other day, and we were wrestling around and shit, and he was trying to do a backflip, and he did his backflip is actually a front flip, which give him another month, he'll be doing full front flips. Like, I got to give him that.
Front somersault.
But he went too far, and when he landed, he fucking the back of his head hit my knee. He was like, "Dad, you're being mean." And he was like, "You did it. Like, that was you. Like, you front flipped into my knee. My knee was stationary."
Do that. It's all you, Bubba.
It's like
Liberal outrage.
Yeah. It's like he hit his head on the wall. Like he was trying to lean back and he just kind of bonked his head on the wall. He's like, Dad, we need to move. I don't like this wall. I was like, but that wall has been there
Since before you were born.
since long before you were born, since hell before I was born. I was like, you just need to adjust yourself, scooch away. Like your spatial awareness is going to have to get better, or you're just going to run into things all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was helping us paint one time. He got some paint on his arm, just dribbled off the roller, and Jeremy was painting, and Gabe turns around and goes, Dad, why'd you do that? Jim's like, why'd I do what? Just paint. I can't get paint on myself. You had to have done it.
That's his thought process. It's like, granted, he's 5, but that's his thought process. Is I mean, there's no way I did that. Like, I definitely didn't do that
It
to
was on a
myself. You
completely
did it.
different wall.
But no, that's a good picture though. Like,
Yeah. That I wasn't even intending to. I just wanted to get a picture of her. That reaction was just lucky.
Well, sometimes those make the best shots.
Yeah.
So is this the same one? Or
That is
this
a different one. That's a.
it's a tiny little turtle.
Yeah, it's an
That's a
Indian
tiny
star
turtle.
tortoise. I just got him. Got in the car. Had to do a scale picture.
Okay, so what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? I don't actually know.
They're tortoises are turtles, but turtles are not tortoises. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. I have heard that before, but I never understood. Is it
tortoise-
something to do with the head shape or
The
something?
tortoises. If you look at a tortoise's face, it looks like a little old man.
Okay.
And
then turtles have the
they
beak.
have the what I call sauropod feet,
Mhm.
like a apatosaur, brontosaurus.
Okay.
They have the the nubs. They don't have webbed feet. They don't have the long claws. They usually have more domed shells, and of course they're 100% terrestrial,
Okay.
as versus aquatic.
Right.
But,
Man, I saw that. I'm sure you've probably seen it. Somebody caught a tortoise and they were gonna release it back into the wild. They just tossed it into the lake. It's like, well, you just killed that.
Yeah, I saw a
there.
picture of an old man throwing a tortoise off a bridge. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's. But the good thing about it, I mean, that'd be one hell of a belly flop. But,
Right.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
have a belly flop,
But
right?
the thing with the tortoises, at least the ones I have, they float.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
They do float. I've got the pen I have out in the backyard with this last storm. The hailstorm and everything. It flooded, and a little concerned there. I was at work. My wife was at work. My wife finally got home, and went out there, and she said, yeah, she found them floating in the water, trying to scale at the walls, trying to.
I mean, that's good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I realized that they actually froze my redfoot tortoise, I when they're growing up, I give them a bath every day. That's just to ensure that they stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Because in that bath they drink.
Okay.
And I go and turn the water on, get it the right temperature, bring her in, put her in there, and forgot.
Got distracted.
Forgot, yeah. I was
no.
like, and then I was like, oh, I need to go check on her, and I go in there, and the tub is like almost all the way full, and here she is, just they can swim. I mean,
Had
I
the
don't know
water
if they
float
really
on her
know
face.
that they're doing it, but they move their legs and they propel themselves in the water, but they would rather not be doing that.
Right.
It's like dogs don't know they're doggy paddling. They're just
Well,
trying
yeah,
to get
exactly,
where they're going.
Right. Good comparison.
I mean, that's good to know though. Like maybe that turtle that chick threw, the tortoise that the chick threw into the lake was just
Yeah.
like, man, just like, you son of a bitch, and just with a vengeance, just paddling back. It's like, I'm gonna fucking bite your goddamn ankle for doing this to me, you sack of shit.
I'm coming for you.
Right? It'd be like you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like if I threw you in water, it'd be the same thing.
You just don't have a good enough beak for that.
Yeah, he just headbutt my shins.
Now, this animal.
No, I'd jump and hit you in the knee.
This animal. This is it's another bull snake. It's one of my females. It's she just recently laid a clutch of eggs with
that the-
Joe Bruce, that other one you saw prior.
That was.
That's Joe Bruce too, but that's the name. That's the namesake.
Different Joe Bruce.
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah, was it this one?
Yeah. There she is.
Okay.
She's that's that coloration is what's known as a locality. It's not a mutation. That's what this species looks like down in Kingsville County, Texas.
Right. So that's
Okay.
what like.
So it's an isolated population that I guess evolution has kept this color to match the red dirt of the surrounding area.
Right, and that's what I was going to say because there's a lot of animals that, depending on where they're at, depends on how they look, and that's so that they're naturally going to blend
Yeah.
in. That's their their defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So that's when you say it's locational.
Yeah.
It's where they come from is going to depend on their
Right.
coloration because the evolution of them in that spot they've just adapted over time to be able to blend in with their surroundings and be able to hide or ambush or
Yep.
however
And-
they need to do it.
And I bred her with the other one
The big one.
to get the genetics of the male, which is recessive gene. It's a recessive gene. The offspring are not going to show that coloration
Right.
until I breed the offspring to another of its clutch mates. And the red is a trait that will show up immediately. So the offspring will be kind of red, but will look like what the father did if it didn't have the genetics that it has now. Does that
Right.
make sense? And I will eventually breed two siblings together to get one that looks just like the father, but with a little more, with a more of a red hue to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for. It's fun with genetics and breeding snakes.
Right.
Playing Dr. Frankenstein. It's kind of fun.
That's how one of our other guys that's on here, he doesn't do it. He's not doing it with, animals. He's doing it with, he's starting to get into the, the growing marijuana and stuff.
Gotcha,
That's
yeah.
And that's what he's doing the same thing,
Yeah.
taking the different plants and trying to, get them to,
Yeah.
germinate together and make
Combine
new ones and
desirable
take-
traits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do that with cars. Like I like to take parts or motors, like hearts of one, and put it in something where it shouldn't be. But
That is fascinating. It
Yeah.
is. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he's also overselling it because he's talking about doing things like, oh, well, this broke. Hey, I'm going to jam an alternator off of a Mercedes onto this Ford F-150.
hey, if I can make it work, I fucking will.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
I'll build a bracket.
Yeah. So yeah, imagine this snake with a little more red
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Rednecking across the universe.
Yeah, that'd be a cool looking snake.
Yeah.
And are you waiting on those to hatch still?
Yeah. Yeah. They're
Okay.
they got maybe another 3 weeks of cooking.
Yeah. Now, how long does it take from like
Laying.
once they're laid to hatching?
Depending on temperature and humidity, around 3 months, 90 days.
Okay.
The higher the temperature, the less time it takes, but you're speeding up the process, so it leaves more room for
Right. Yeah.
defects and stuff. And I'm patient,
Yeah.
you know.
That's how I would be too. If I knew that speeding up that process by having a higher temperature, if I knew that the potential for defects went up, the one out front cycled, so that one we'll either have to turn it completely off, let it cycle down and then back up, or just wait and it'll come back on.
Yeah, we'll just wait. It's moving air around, so it's okay.
She had the one out front set wrong. It was set to 73. When it cycled down and pitched back up is when I heard it go off. So anyway, I'd be a patient too. I'd be like, fuck, you want to take 120 days? Go ahead.
Yeah.
So
One
what's
thing I'm kind of wondering, talking about the general different times can cause certain effects. Have you ever noticed any, say, differences in the coloration because of the amount of time it took?
No, that temperature and doesn't really affect the actual genetics. Just as far as look-wise, color-wise, or whatever. But some of the things that happen are kinked spines, bugged eyes, where the eyes are too big and kind of bulge out.
Like cartoony almost.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting
And
it.
I just suddenly had a thought. It's like a Far Side cartoon. You got Joe looking at Bob and going, "Hey, Bob, do you know your snake has scoliosis?"
Your temperatures are too high, Bob.
Your temperature's too high, Bob.
So what would you say would be like a perfect temperature if somebody listening to this is trying to breed some snakes?
Yeah, just between 78 degrees, 80 degrees. I think that some people still, will go up to 82 degrees,
Yeah.
80, maybe 83 degrees, and still have a perfectly fine clutch.
Right.
It's just you're dealing with chance here.
Right.
But I mean, I don't see a point in setting the temperature in the incubator that high. I mean, you just need to have your patience.
Yeah.
I mean, why risk it? I mean, for the sake of the animals.
Right. So, low side, like
There it goes.
on the very low side, like 75 to 81 is.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as low as 75.
Yeah.
76. I know it's just one number,
It's just down
but
as
it
far
really
as
does make a difference.
Yeah.
76 versus 75.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the same with a lot of things. Like I was saying, even with cars, like there's some things that, at 190 degrees, 192 degrees for your water, or a 200 degree thermostat, you're going to get far better performance if you put a 180 degree thermostat in it, just because it's going to keep everything cooler.
Gotcha.
So it's not doing, everything's not having to do as much work because, in that high of temperatures, yes, it's only 20 degrees, but 180 to 200, you're going to tell. I mean, especially if you're in there.
Well, and like in making booze, that 1 degree or 2 degrees makes a tremendous difference
Exactly.
over your batch and how it's going to condense. So yeah, I can see where it would make that 1 degree makes a difference. Plus, it's about consistency of temperatures as well.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're like our power here fluctuates. We're on an old system in this house for the box, and we've been on the landlords to come in and do some work on it, and they just still have yet to do it. Yeah, right. So the power fluctuates like what just happened. I can see where you've got your heating system, and then you get that surge of usage, and that suddenly that bulb is no longer 72, now it's 68, or it's no longer 75, it's 72, and I can see where it will also be a consistency issue.
Yeah.
That's what I've got to get for that lizard that my son got. I got to get him a little light. Like the way I've got is like it's not a very big, it's not a very big enclosure. It's only that big, but he's only.
What kind of lizard is it?
That's what I was.
Mediterranean gecko.
It's like a western, like the bluebelly
Fence lizard.
Yeah.
Scaloporus.
Yeah. And he's got, I've got him a little heating rock that he chills on, and the way he's set up in my son's room, like he gets the sun throughout the day, and then at night he'll, So during the day, like I've gone in there more than once. I'm like, where'd that little fucker go? Thinking he got out, even though he can't, because he can't get up high enough. But because I know they burrow, so he's got a little taco that was all I could find for something for him to get in. He's never been in it. He always gets under it. So he'll just dig under dig under his soil that I got in there. But he'll chill out on his rock and stuff. But I needed to get him a little day and night light for where I can set it on the timer where it's got the.
So that's what you were talking about when you said you couldn't find him that day. We were talking on the phone, and you said you were hunting for the lizard. Okay.
Yep. He either gets under his taco or he gets under his heating rock.
So you about that heat rock? It's just a rock with a plug.
Yeah.
Be careful with those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not regulated.
Yeah. Well, this one has a little temperature dial.
Really? Okay, they make those now. Okay, that's it. All right.
Yeah, it's
excellent,
got I don't know if it's not a temperature dial, but it's got like a low, medium, high setting. So I've just got it just right on medium. So it's like you can put your hand on it and it's warm, but it's not hot to the touch. So
those have been known to fail.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to scare you anything. I mean, if it's working great, work great. They sell them. Just your house burns down. There's no way you can sue anybody.
They're cheap and easily replaceable. Basically, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Replace it more often, more frequently.
If the house burns down, at least I got renter's insurance. So
with that species, they like it a bit on the hot side. They like to bask and
Yeah, luckily where the the window in my son's room, like it gets a lot of direct sunlight that comes right there, and he's
during the summer,
right under his TV. So I want to get him a bigger spot with more stuff where he can do stuff and have his light and shit like that. But God, I forgot how expensive getting all that stuff can be.
The reptile business, the reptile industry, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's a lot of laws going around. I mean, trying to suppress our rights to keep them.
Right.
Certain species I understand, but I still fight for them.
Right.
You give in.
Yeah.
A one.
You give anybody an inch, and they're going to
take a mile.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I mean, with what's going on in Florida right now, I mean, I get it. I get it. I mean, a lot of it's blamed on keepers just releasing them, and I'm sure to a degree that is the case. But
well, and then breeding. I mean, it's like they've talked about with this, like you're talking about the snakes in Florida. They're breeding too. Out once they get released, they're breeding out in the wild, and you get a clutch of 12. Well, now you have 19 as many snakes.
And then there's no cold snap in Florida. To kill them. They don't hibernate. They don't need to down there. But it was a Hurricane Katrina was a big factor in what happened and why there's so many breeding facilities destroyed and flung snakes everywhere.
Yeah, I know a lot of those have displaced and put snakes in certain species of snakes where they're not supposed to be, and they've done very well.
Well, we're not before, and they've done very well. Yeah,
I mean, but I'm a proponent to it is our fault.
Right.
No, I mean, people blame Hurricane Katrina. They try to find other reasons why, but it all boils down to us. Those snakes would not be where they are now if it wasn't for people.
Yeah,
right.
And it's the same with other animals too. I know there was they made a little cartoon out of it, which was hilarious, just to read the little cartoon. But they're airdropping Canadian wolves somewhere here in the States.
Yeah. In Michigan, isn't it?
I think it is Michigan, to take care of the moose population because somebody introduced a different, I guess, breed of moose or whatever that was much larger than the one that was just naturally there.
And more relevant.
Yeah, so they were airdropping fucking massive Canadian wolves in there because they're the natural predators of that specific moose. And the comic book it's a moose just standing, and then it looks up and you see a parachute, and it's a wolf just kind of doing this, and then they lock eyes and it goes back to it, and it's the wolf's got a knife in his mouth. It's like,
I don't understand.
But now you have Canadian wolves in the United States that belong to breeding.
I don't know how well that's going to work out. I mean, what's wrong with human hunters?
Right.
I mean, if you really think you got a population, open up a season.
Extra
I mean,
season,
even make it a contest.
Get more tags.
You know, I mean,
instead of one tag a season, you get 3 tags a season.
And if they're talking specifically this one breed, then open it up
for that one breed.
Hey, we need these things gone. We're going to sell the tags.
Or just to manage it, because I'm about management. Manage it.
Yeah. I mean,
about management.
But I got to understand the wolves are not only going after the moose, and to think that's all they're going for is just ridiculous.
That's just stupid. Yeah.
Because what they're going to do, say they prefer moose. All right. Hey, this big one that I'm used to fucking with is a whole lot harder to fight than that little motherfucker.
Right.
It's a different species.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck dealing with that. I'm going for that one.
Now we're going to get rid of the normal moose species that was here that's much smaller, and now you're just going to have to deal with giant fucking, giant tank mooses for no fucking reason for the rest of your lives.
And what's wrong? What is wrong with the giant tank mooses? I mean, what is the big deal?
I mean, a moose is a moose. They're all assholes. Yeah. They're fucking essentially indestructible.
Right.
And they're mean as shit. They are. They're mean as shit.
And they can dive 30 meters underwater. So, the chances of getting taken out by a moose underwater are never zero.
Yep.
That brings up conservation. There's a snake in California. Probably, in my opinion, the most beautiful snake in this country is the San Francisco garter snake.
Okay.
It is.
Yep, he's gonna pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, it is illegal, completely illegal to even touch them out in the wild.
Why is that? Are they protected?
They're protected. They're protected.
Okay.
Federally protected.
Right.
There's a thing called what we call protecting a species into extinction.
Yes, there is.
Yes, it's.
I highly believe that humans do that.
You can
Those are cool as shit looking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And not all of those are San Francisco garter snakes. Some
Dude.
are California red-sided garter snakes. There's a difference.
I do a paracord pattern.
Yeah,
It's based off of
the
that.
ones with the checkered pattern on the side. That is those are San Francisco. No, those are California red-sided garter snakes.
Okay.
The San Francisco, like the one in the upper right, that's they just got this electric blue, beautiful stripe on them. Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, it is a cool ass.
Yeah, I
snake.
do.
Yeah.
I do a paracord knotted braid.
He looks like he's up to something. Too.
It's based on that. It looks just like that.
Yeah, that's
So
a cool
we're
ass
we're
snake.
not allowed to touch them. I mean, you pick one up. I mean, and somebody finds out. I mean, you're looking at a 10-year sentence.
It's like getting a
Christ.
scissor tail
Yeah.
here. You can't do anything with the scissor tails here.
But you pay the state or higher ups enough money,
Yeah.
they will let you bulldoze their environment to build on.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
you know, a developer is not looking for the animals that they can't see, which, I mean, you're not going to see these animals in the brush.
So how big do these guys normally
They'll,
get?
they'll get about 2 feet long. They're
No,
not,
so
they're not very
not
big.
horribly big. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the same way in Florida with the gopher tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you touch a gopher tortoise, you're looking at a sentence, but you pay the officials or the higher ups enough money, you can develop on their habitat, and there is videos of developers pouring concrete into gopher tortoise holes. Their
Right.
their dens and stuff.
Hey Johnny, what are you in for? Man, you're not gonna believe what I'm in for. What are you in for? I'm in
Just
for
fucking
murder.
turtle.
Yeah, but
Didn't
see,
touch one turtle. I touched two. They gave you life. Yeah, man.
But there's a thing called we call conservation through captive propagation.
Yeah.
It's like, get these animals into the private sector. Let people who want to breed them breed them.
Right.
Let me get my hands on this animal.
Well, like, do you even find them in zoos or in private collections because they're protected like that?
They are in private collections in Europe, believe it or not.
In Europe,
They can have them in Europe,
but not in the United
but
States.
not in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I can
Yeah.
see
Oh, yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to follow our laws or rules.
No.
How they got them, I don't want to know.
Right.
Hey, after the show, we need to talk.
I got this cool ass snake you might want, bro.
Oh God, what movie was that? Next to Ken.
Right.
He had that brother or that cousin that had all the snakes in the school bus.
Yeah.
Old Patrick Swayze.
And there's a lizard called the Borneo earless monitor.
Oh, those are cool. I've seen pictures of those.
Yeah, they look like little Godzillas.
Yep, they look like little Godzillas,
It's
they
probably the rarest lizard on the planet. There is a population here in America. The private sector is getting their hands on them, and the legality of it happening is questionable.
Right.
You know,
That's if you get caught.
it doesn't matter. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter who gets caught with them.
Oh, that thing's
I mean,
fucking
if-
cool.
Oh,
as
yeah,
shit.
it doesn't matter who.
Oh, I want one.
All right, yeah. I mean,
They're
they're
badass
little.
looking.
They're about a foot long, you know, I believe. But their habitat is being
See,
destroyed
Godzilla.
as we
Yeah.
speak for palm oil.
Yeah.
So the palm oil plantations are being put on their habitat, and it's illegal to catch them.
Thing is
It's
cool
illegal
as
to
fuck.
touch them. Yeah. And
I
their
love
their
the
only known
spines
relatives
and
are
spikies on them and everything.
they're saying that the relatives are close to more like the beaded lizards and the Gila monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah.
but it's like on the opposite side of the planet.
Oh, I want one.
Yeah,
I know.
the
And
eyes
who in
really
the hell?
get me.
Who in the hell is actually going to walk into a coffee shop in the United States and go, "Dude, I just picked up this awesome pet. It's a Borneo earless lizard." I mean, who's going to actually do that?
It's the
It's on the dark web.
temptation is there, man.
It's on
Right.
the dark web.
Yeah.
I mean, we could probably find one, but
Yeah.
pay a shit ton of money for it.
I mean, I have a Gila monster.
yeah.
But going out to Arizona and touching one is a federal offense.
Yeah, it's a felony.
You're looking at several years in prison just for picking one up,
That's
killing
insane.
them. Yeah, but but I mean, they are available in the private sector legally as captive bred individuals.
And that's state by state. Like the Gila monster, state by state. It's not a full federal ban like those are, or like some of those other snakes are. That's a state by state.
Yeah, you can have a captive bred individual, but you have to have documentation.
Documentation and paperwork.
And the documentation is a sales receipt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you have to leave a paper trail of where you got them.
Right.
I got mine. Mine was a.
Wait,
the owner in
we have a
Edmond-
shot before you tell the story?
No. The former owner passed away, and the owner's
So you
in-laws
inherited
were
it.
friends of mine. They were about to move to Waco, and
You guys
they
remember
couldn't
Waco?
take it with them. They couldn't take it with
Waco?
them. He called me up, and this guy. I mean, we do, we trade hatchlings all the time. We don't care about the money. It's one of those things where it's like, hey man,
Yeah.
you want one? Cover the shipping. It's yours.
Right.
We
Shipping
had a
and
good
registration
relationship
costs,
like that,
yeah.
and he's like, yeah, man, my brother-in-law's Gila monster needs a home. We can't take it with us to Waco because transporting this animal across state lines is a federal offense.
Yes, that is where it gets federal.
Yeah, so I was like, I mean, yeah, I can't pass this up. Yeah, so me and my wife drove to Edmond and picked up this awesome lizard, man.
It's like my Doberman. I legally cannot take unless I have travel papers. Yeah, I have to go to the vet and get all the travel papers. My Doberman, I can't take to Texas. Yep.
Is it like the pit bulls are evil type
Correct.
thing? Yeah.
It's because of how that particular breed in the species is viewed and deemed and laud.
Yeah.
That I can't take an Oklahoma Doberman to Texas without quarantining it and without travel paperwork.
Wait, I mean, I don't understand what the quarantine is for. Is it for diseases?
COVID.
It is for diseases.
Oh, is it?
COVID. No, it's for diseases and stuff like that. But I would need to get all that done before I would go. Like we just can't take her on a trip to Wichita Falls technically. Now I don't know who the fuck is going to call them on a
Yeah,
Doberman,
I mean, I guess it depends on the cop that pulls you over for speeding.
When we got the Doberman, we had never owned a Doberman. We'd owned lots of pets. We'd owned Huskies. We've owned several other different types of dogs. And the meanest dog on the planet, freaking Mexi dog, the Chihuahua. But when we got the Doberman, the stigma, even to this day, about Dobermans, we did a lot of research into the laws and how to do it. And fortunately, Lawton no longer considers Dobermans a dangerous breed.
Right.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
So there's no real registration on them as far as being a dangerous breed. But there are many places that still do, and Texas is one of those states.
I think the whole dangerous breed thing is fucking stupid.
I think it is too. I think it's ridiculous.
I understand there are some
I'm more likely
Chows,
to die from his snakes than I am my dogs.
like Chows. Chows to me are, of any of the dogs I've ever met, they're the ones that are almost like 90% of the time are aggressive.
Right.
But
They are.
Pit bulls.
I hate Chows.
Fucking Rottweilers, Dobermans, Great Danes, Saint Bernards, German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, all these dogs that have these reputations of being like great guard dogs or police working dogs, shit like that. The ones that you think's like, man, that dog's gonna fuck me up. If it does it out of nowhere, it comes from that's the environment that it was raised in.
Right.
Like that dog was probably abused a lot.
Generally.
Or taught.
Generally,
it was
I see
taught
that generally.
behavior.
There are individuals. I mean, this is a subject we agreed to a point.
Right.
I've seen individual dogs just raised perfectly and
then
just
still tame.
out of the blue,
Yep. That's why I said
snatch a
generally.
little kid up.
And
That's why I
I
said generally.
Yeah,
but
and I
it's
do
not just
agree
those
with that.
dogs. Any dog can.
There's but that's anything in nature. People are the same way. You can have somebody that was raised great, had all the love in the world, was always cared for, but then just fucking snaps one day and ends up murdering fucking 60 people.
As long as you don't start using the Chihuahua argument,
Right.
I think we'll be all right. That cracks me up. They're like, well, Chihuahuas are more aggressive. I was like, I've never had to snatch my dog out of the mouth of a Chihuahua.
Right? Well, that's because their mouths are so small. Yeah, no, I agree.
Chihuahuas are generally more neurotic.
I'm kind of a troll on Facebook, or not so much now, but that was one of the subjects that I loved getting into.
Getting into debates
All right.
about what?
Yeah, just talking
I'm
shit
gonna-
about it.
Throw you a link right quick. A woman in, I think it was in the UK.
Just put it on the group and I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my movie rotated over from High Plains Drifter to Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
I mean, not a bad movie.
Not a bad movie. They're running this, like, the deal, the site that I'm on now is it literally has the binge properties where they'll binge run, like, for 24 hours, a particular set of movies or an actor's movies.
Hospital with my dog by my side.
And they've been doing Clint Eastwood.
If this has a video, I bet we can listen to it. I swear to God that said OnlyFans. Yep. Okay, I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
crap.
I was...
Dave's about to get an eyeball he wasn't expecting.
This is going to be weird. I don't think any of us expected this fucking to go like that. She's got a weird face. I don't like it.
That's a commercial. It's a commercial. It was a commercial.
Talk about speaking out loud and thinking out loud. Yeah, very nice. I love it.
Thank you, New York Post, for
Yeah.
making this really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we tried, but y'all.
Damn.
This dog is proving that anything is possible. Shut up with your fucking puns.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Belle is a 2-year-old Staffordshire Bull Terrier, is believed to be one of the first dogs that
My black and white's a Staffy.
birth.
All right.
The doggy midwife escorted her owner. Belle was patiently waiting in the hospital room. Went on to the theater to have my baby. I don't understand why they always call it a theater. It's like, I was there when my daughter was born. I didn't care to watch.
The surround sound sucked.
The thing, I mean, like for me personally, like I get it. It's a beautiful thing. It's like, I'm going to put my dick back in there at one point in time. I don't want to see what happens when something that big comes out.
Destroys it.
I don't want to see that.
Oh, my God.
I already had to rattle it around a little bit just to hit the sides. Now I got to do even more. Jeez.
The shit.
That guy has the most confidence in the world on the internet right there, guaranteed.
Yeah.
She's a happy girl, though.
That's a happy girl. Look at that.
She's a pretty pup.
Yeah, we've got one of the American Staffies. That's our black and white one,
Yeah.
Sable. And when she was a pup, she was
That is an ugly
90%
fucking
black.
baby,
That's
though.
why we called her Sable.
Well, I mean,
That is an
most
ugly
of them
baby.
are.
Most of them are, yeah.
She's
What are
ugly.
your opinions on the breeding trend of what I call breeders trying to breed pit bulls to look like English bulldogs? Does that make sense?
Oh,
have you
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
The little stumpy
don't-
leg
Yep.
bully dogs.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them pit bulls. I don't.
They
I mean, it's
look
like a
they look
midget
a toy
staffy.
bully. Yeah.
A midget staffy.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I think that some of them, especially like some of the ones that are bred properly, I think they could be like good-looking dogs.
I think they're adorable.
Yeah, I
really
don't.
think they're
I don't
cool.
really agree with it though.
But I
Yeah.
think you're genetically running into genetic predispositions that cause imbalances in the brain that could cause potential long-term problems as you go generationally.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The first 10 or 20 years of doing it, and it hasn't been going on very long. Because I know I read an article on what you're talking about. The first 10 or 20 years, sure. But who knows what the fuck is going to be done to their brains, especially once the inbreeding starts. Once they get their traits.
You have to have some of that.
You have to have some inbreeding.
Yeah.
And once that inbreeding starts to keep those traits over 2 or 3 generations.
That's what they said in Bama too, and look where they got. He's from Bama, so
So I can't imagine what that's. You look at Dalmatians.
Oh.
The kind of problems that are caused from the generational genetic working that they've done to keep Doberman spots in the small spots instead of the big long spots, trying to keep that dog looking like what we typically think of as a fireman's Doberman,
Yeah.
not Doberman,
Dalmatian, yes.
Dalmatian, has really fucked those dogs up, to be honest.
Dalmatian's got a bad rap for a long time for being aggressive too.
Well,
Which-
and their health problems and their
Yeah.
vision and their hearing and their mental
Yeah.
issues, and they are just not, they're cool dogs. They're not good dogs to own. They're just not anymore.
my biggest thing with what you're talking about, where they're breeding the pit bulls and the bulldogs together, is bulldogs are all predispositioned to breathing problems.
Right.
With their little stubby nose, their shit like that.
And the extra wrinkles where
It's like pugs. Like pugs shouldn't exist.
They because
Their
how do they
life
breathe?
is their life is miserable when you think about it.
Yeah.
But so to breed a dog that is predisposed to breathing problems to a dog that is a working dog, that was a bred hunting dog, that is to It was bred to run and help hunt
Yeah, it
boars
has a
and
huge
fucking
mouth and
bears
nasal
and shit
cavity
like
to
that.
be able to breathe with.
It's like you're essentially, one of these days you're going to take away one of the best qualities of this dog and give it the worst quality of this other dog.
Right.
And I think that's pretty shitty.
You know, my brother, back to Dobermans, the Doberman we had was his. He wants another one. He's going for, he wants an exotic Doberman, a white Doberman.
Yeah.
And I saw this a few years ago, a jet black Doberman, no pattern. It was a beautiful animal, but I had to do a little talk with him about what goes on to produce these animals.
Called.
You know, the inbreeding that goes on to get that trait.
Yeah.
Damien Dobermans?
My aunt had
All the different colors
Rottie
have a
that was solid
specific
black.
name, and the jet black ones have this like demon devil type.
Of course.
That's what the jet black they call
Yeah.
the jet black ones.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
cropped
they are
ears, cropped.
fantastic.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Well, we opted not to crop and dock our Doberman. My wife and I had her right at we got her just about weaning period, and you know you still have that 6 or 8 weeks where it can be done well without causing too much damage to the dog. Now they can still be done into early adulthood, but we decided not to do that because we didn't want her to look like a typical Doberman. Number one.
That's painful for him too.
Number
Like,
two, it's very
like-
painful.
Yeah.
And number three, she's an American Doberman. She's not she's not one of the European Dobermans. And we opted not to make her look like a European. We wanted her to continue to have the ears, the floppy ears. Now, when she stands them up, you can tell she's a Doberman.
gotcha.
And just looking at her face and the way she interacts when she's still in a good mood, you can tell she's a Doberman, even though she's an American Doberman.
Yeah. But she's a good girl though.
She is.
I know. I took Athena. We went to Walmart to get a couple, toilet paper and some few groceries and some. Then to Jimmy John's to get some sandwiches, and I took me and Gabe took Athena in, and everybody gets not necessarily freaked out, but they like people in Walmart get weirded out by Athena 'cause she's my Great Dane. She's my service dog.
She's a Harlequin, isn't she?
Yeah. No, she's European. She's black
European?
and white.
Okay.
Yeah,
thought
so
she's a Harlequin.
she's good size. She's 145 pounds. That's what she weighed in at the vet the other day. But everybody's like I'll get the questions. It's like, she's a service dog? It's like, yeah, you don't see her tag. She hates her fucking her vest. So
Yeah.
she just has her little tag on. But everybody's like, that is the biggest fucking service dog I've ever seen. I was like, there's a Saint Bernard that runs around here named Zeppelin that is about the same size, if not a little bit bigger. It's like,
So neener. Yeah.
Well, then
she's the
you
second
look at
biggest fucker.
because my service dog is Sable.
Yeah.
You look at like Sable walking next to me, his Great Dane walking next to him is proportionally accurate.
Yeah, there you go.
it's like, what do you expect me to have, like a 40-pound blue healer?
It's when you throw in Zeppelin walking next to Britt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it doesn't quite
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, I have 2 West Highland Terriers and a Schnauzer mixed rescue I snagged out of Duncan.
I wouldn't
on
mind
the
having a
job
giant
site.
schnauzer.
I've seen
That-
pictures
yeah, that's
of those. I've seen pictures of those.
I've never had. I mean, I'm sure. I'm not blaming the breed, but I've never had a good experience with giant schnauzers.
No?
Just I mean, they weren't my animals, but they other people's dogs. They've always had. There was always a process to me coming over.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know
they-
giant schnauzers were true blue guardian dogs.
Yeah.
So once they got their people, their very select few
Right,
people, like,
yep.
you had to earn that fucking dog's
Yeah.
trust to be able to get in there and be able to just function normally. Granted, that's even the smaller ones, the standard size, and then the minis, they're the same way though too. They're all from the same bloodline. They're just a different size. Pope had my adopted grandpa, he had a little mini schnauzer. That fucking dog was an asshole. Like, I have never been nipped at more by a dog. I'd be sitting there just sitting at his kitchen table, and just all of a sudden I'd feel shit on my leg, and I'd look down, and his fucking schnauzer's like biting at my fucking boot. It's like, go on, you little son of a bitch.
Fucking Vash and Snowy's dog. That little shit does that to
Which
me.
one, Apollo?
Yeah.
The little one?
The little one.
He
That
gets
little
close enough
shit
to
does that to me.
enough to nip at you. I look at him, he's like, fuck, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I like comparing myself to y'all as far as the drinking goes. It's I don't feel so bad.
Oh.
I mean, it's like they're going down pretty good.
Don't feel
Yeah.
bad at all. I mean,
Right.
I think we had a 20-pack, and
a 20-pack and a 12-pack and 4. So
I appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
I'm not much of a drinker anymore, but this is kind of nice.
So we had 34 to start with.
Anytime you ever want to come back, man, you're more than welcome. You just want to come sit in and just
Right.
bullshit with us, you're
Right.
more than welcome.
And you seem to have gotten a lot more comfortable in what we were explaining to you how this works. Now
Yeah.
you see why this works the way it does. Because
Yeah.
if you think about what time you got here, what time we started, and
Yeah.
what time it is now, it doesn't seem like it.
Oh wow.
It doesn't seem like it's been that long, does
It
it?
doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we end up with 6-hour shows.
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
Well, I've,
Damn.
Yeah.
Those get edited down.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
still.
Okay.
Yeah, I get to re-listen to all of this again multiple times.
And you don't have to stay that long. Whatever you
Okay.
need to take
Yeah.
off, you're more
I do
than
have
welcome.
other. Yeah.
yeah, no, I figure we can wrap this one up.
We don't. No. Just this is fine.
Okay.
I'm good for now. I'm good for
Yeah.
now.
All right.
All right, well,
Maybe another hour.
okay. Well, we'll wrap this episode,
And we'll do a
and
second one.
then we can
Yeah.
do a second, like a little bonus deal with you, and we can just continue doing this, and then it'll be something different.
Okay.
and-
Okay.
So
but like I said, no. There's no pressure.
yeah, no,
It's all
no.
good.
We try to keep every episode under 2 hours. That way, the site that I host the podcast through,
Okay.
they can automatically upload it to YouTube, but it has to be under 2 hours, unless I do it manually. So we'll wrap this one. You got anything? Any advice for people dealing with snakes?
professional.
Man,
Call a professional.
Just yeah. I mean, you come across a snake like that, or a snake, just don't panic. It's not gonna get you. They're not gonna chase you. They don't want anything to do with you. You know, call animal control. Call somebody. I mean, I'm not gonna. As far as killing it, I'm not. I mean, I advise against it. Don't kill it. But I'm not gonna sit here and blame anybody protecting their home, family, and themselves from something they don't understand.
Yeah, you're
I'm-
not going to throw a righteous fit
I'm
because
not
someone
gonna.
killed
Yeah,
a snake, right?
I get it.
Yeah.
That's why, my wife and my mother, they're like, you need to start snake rescue as a business. I was like, no.
No.
Then
no,
it's
I don't.
work.
Like and I had to explain them a couple of times. Like, it is way cheaper to just kill the snake than to pay somebody to come take it.
Catch it and
From
transport it.
people who don't like them and think they're icky, who put them in the same category as roaches and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
That's a little perspective there. They don't. They're more complex than that. They have a certain level of intelligence. I've seen snakes solve puzzles for a prize.
Yeah.
Okay, I bet, and
It's like just above the level of a mouse will.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do to protect their home.
We knew a guy a few years ago, Drax and I knew a guy a few years ago that his sideline business, and he made pretty decent money at it, was snake removal, not
Yeah.
rescue.
Right. Yeah.
But he would go and remove the
Give me a beer.
snakes, and if it was a bad type of snake, a bad snake,
Yeah, I got you.
he'd take it back to his property in Walters and just fucking kill him and toss him into a bin. I mean,
See, at that point, I think that that's kind of done to me. At that point,
He didn't view it as rescue.
You've already done the removal. You've gotten it out of there. If you have land where it can go off about its business, just fucking
Right.
turn it loose.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it takes less time.
This guy's no
There's less
longer a
cleanup.
friend. He's no longer a friend because even I thought that was a little twisted. But it's like, that's kind of.
So you wouldn't even try to process it for food or anything. Just
No.
just kill it, throw it in the.
kill it and bin it.
Yeah.
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 See, like the only for me, like I'm gonna do everything I can to if there's one in my house, just get it out of the house.
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid of snakes. I don't mind. I'll snag one.
Yeah, I got no
and
issues.
especially like rattlesnakes and shit. Well, yeah, it's gonna suck. But I know I know a lot of them for most grown-ups. Just getting bit, it's gonna hurt and it's gonna make you sick, and it's gonna do. There's gonna be some damage there. But as long as you know what happened, you can get treatment for it. Like it's a treatable thing.
And I will say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't think medical insurance covers a snake
No.
bite, and
Yeah,
that is
cheap.
that is a six-figure.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a six-figure bill.
Yeah. No,
So-
I can imagine. I can definitely imagine.
So
it is.
on that note, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Majority of snake bites are what I call illegitimate.
Stupidity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're either trying to kill it, catch it, or just fuck with it.
No.
Then you get bit. You know, I don't feel bad for those people.
No.
But of course, you know, on the rare occasion, you know, you're in your garden, you reach somewhere and you get tagged. It happens.
Yeah.
But, you know,
See,
So
for me,
call a professional.
yeah. See, for me, the killing part, like if I'm out camping or something, or especially fucking the situation, you get lost somewhere and you happen to find a cave or something for some shelter, and you don't know what you're fucking stumbling into, and now you're like the only way through it is say you got a den that's got snakes in it and shit.
I'm gonna kill him.
You may have to kill some to get yourself out.
I'm gonna kill him.
Like that's fine, but the guy that would just catch him, take him back to his house, kill him, and just throw him away, it's like you've already done the work. Just let it fucking go.
Yeah, just
Like-
let it, and you're already on the property. 'Cause
Yeah.
he owned like 20 acres. You're already on the
Yeah,
property outside of Walters.
see, when I get
Fucking let it go.
a call and it's a rattlesnake, I know the location of a few winter dens
Right.
in Comanche County,
Yeah.
and some of them are on property of people who know that they're there and that they respect
They just stay
the
the fuck
natural,
away from it.
the nature of it.
Yeah.
They let me go, and I will release them on right at the mouth of the den. I'll go to the mouth of the den and release it there. That way he knows where it's at. I will never release the info. It's one of those things.
Right.
That's nobody's business but mine.
Yeah.
Well,
what the location of the
Trade
spot.
secret, so to speak.
Yeah. It's
We've already stated that we're going to take a pause and probably do a second episode with Dave here. So next time we sit down, I want to tell you I got 2 different stories dealing with rattlesnakes
okay.
and my sable dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she get bit?
No, she saved my life twice.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Right on.
we appreciate you coming in, and like I said, we're like he said, we're gonna do another recording and stuff. And anytime you ever want to come back, even if it's just sit and be on it, have some beers, and just hang out, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, this was fun. I appreciate it. It was good to meet you guys.
Oh yeah, you too.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to sign off on this episode. So if you're listening and you're not already following on the Book of Faces and Instagram and all that good stuff, YouTube, we're going to have a Twitch set up soon. It's technically set up. I just got to finish getting everything published, and then maybe a Discord, depending on how I feel.
I think we should do a Discord.
Discord's popular,
Yeah. So we are going to try to start doing some more
even for non-traders.
some more video stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for some more episodes. If you're hearing this, you're a couple days behind.
Hi, Mom.
Deuces.
See you, fuckers.
Deuces.